I'm gonna show you guys how you can take your Y62 from the junk interior that they come with to this massive 16.8-inch head unit. Now you can see with the factory system, this one's got direct-to-technology head unit. And you know, with this system, they're very prone to freezing. You've tried all the updates, they still don't work. They're placed in an awkward position. As per most of the customers say, this is one of the bigger problems. If you have the older one, the old screen does not even have Apple CarPlay. Now this process is gonna be very, very similar for this unit, or the other one, if your dashboard looks like this, it's gonna be working on either one of them. Now this car right here is about to get the new head unit, the new digital dash, as well as the tailgate. So I'm gonna make 3 separate videos to show how to install each one of them, and then have a compilation on my Instagram, links to that in here. So without any further delay, let's get started. Now this whole video is going to be divided into 3 sections. First one is going to be dismantling the entire dash. Second one is going to be preparing the new unit and the harness. And third one is going to be putting in the unit and the order they go in. Same thing with the instrument cluster. So in order to remove this dash, there's not a whole lot going on here. So you can push this boot down there and you can pry on either side of this metal pin, and then this will just slide out. That's your shifter out of the way. All right, so once you pull the shifter out, now you can pull on this panel here straight up from either side. It's not very hard. There's 3 connectors underneath and 2 pins. Now this one here has got wireless charger. So in some cases, they might have another connector that you might have to undo. Sometimes they're stuck onto the panel, so you don't have to undo them. Now the easiest way I find is to lift it up from the passenger side. You'll find this one plug right underneath this section here for your gear selector. So just undo that. It's just a clip, so you press it and pull it out. Same thing for the other 2 plugs here. You can see someone has already been here and removed these 2 clips, so we don't have to do that. You can go ahead and remove the other one here as well. Now, as I was saying, in some cases, the wireless charger is just stuck on here, so you don't have to undo that one. With that, this can go out of the way. All right, so now for the next bit, you want to remove these side panels here. Now, they're quite an easy panel to remove. Let me show you from either side. If you look at this flap underneath, you can just pull this out a little bit and push this panel back out. You can see there was a clip here that needs to be undone. And then this whole panel can slide out and you can pull it out of the way. Do the same thing on the other side. Once the side panels are out, now you can remove this screen. It's only held in by 2 screws, so one on the left, one on the right. So we'll just pop that out. There's a couple connections behind and we'll remove it. Before popping this out, you can either put it into neutral or drive. Now this car is on an incline, so we're probably not going to do that. But I'm just going to put in a piece of microfiber so we don't scratch the original unit. Now all the screws around here are mostly going to be Phillips head 2. So you can get a PS2 screwdriver or a gun, whatever you're comfortable with. And just undo all the screws that you see. 2 on the left side. Some microfiber there, and I like to use my pry tool. Just get here behind the plastic and just pop the screen out. Same thing on the other side, pops out quite easy, and then you can use your finger to grab the rest. Now without damaging anything, you can remove all the plugs from behind and get this screen out of the way. Now only with this couple of plugs out of the way, the original screen is out. Now what you can do is flip it behind and remove these clips that you see. They're quite easy to remove. You can get a pick behind or get your pry tool behind and just pop them straight up. We're gonna be needing that to put into our new unit when you're mounting it in to make it nice and snug to go back into the original spot. Now for the next bit, we want to remove this main radio behind here. We're going to be harvesting our climate panel, so remove it from the side and put it back on. Now before we go ahead and do that, we have to remove this bottom panel here. So you can just get your fingers behind and pop it straight out. Do the same thing on the other side. That one comes out, reveals another 2 screws that you need to undo. 2 more Phillips head down there, 2 at the top, and this whole thing will come out. Once you undo this Phillips head screw, this will come out. There's only 1, 2, 3 screws, and the rest are just clips. Get your hand behind and pull it straight out. Same thing on the other side. And that is the cubby out of the way. Gives you more room to work on the radio. Let's go ahead and undo the radio. Alright, so once you remove those 4 screws from here, there's few plugs at the back. Go ahead and undo all of those plugs, all of the connections here, and this radio will pull out. Now there's 1 Torx 20 on the left and 1 Torx 20 on the right side, and this climate box will come out of the place, and then you can go ahead and plug it back on and tape it down at the bottom. That's where we like to mount it. You can even do it to the side and tuck it in. Now if you have the unit with the screen up top with the 360 camera, you wouldn't have to worry about this part, but if you have the direct-to-technology head unit, you would have to do this. Now you see this plug coming here from the right side of the car. You can go ahead and see here, there's a 3rd pin here, which is the red wire here. That's your reverse trigger. So you kind of have to get that one out of there. We have to tap into that red wire there to go into our new unit for the reverse trigger. So when you when you put your car into reverse, the camera will come up. Now for the camera itself, what you have to do is go ahead and remove one of these. I like to usually take the last spare one. They all come in when you're undoing these wires here. Once you undo one of the part, this is the original camera plug. So how it's connected is you will connect one of them together. They screw on, and the other side I'll show you how to hardwire to our kit. Alright, so what I've done is plug this plug here. Now on the other end, I'm going to use a wire stripper and strip it out and show you what wires we need to connect. So let me quickly go ahead and remove the safety. Now once you strip it apart, you'll see there's a few different wires. Don't be worried. This red one here is going to connect back to this red one when we tap on the wire there. This green one, you can kind of ignore that. Don't need that anymore. This black one here, you have to strip it apart again, and you will have your video and video shield in there. This is what it looks like in a bit of close-up. Now when you're doing this, make sure this video shield and the video signal don't interrupt with each other. Tape them away, do whatever you have to. I'm only going to rip apart a little bit on the top for the video. That way it's not actually going to get any interference from my ground. Now with that, we're already halfway through the installation. All of the plugs and things have been done here. Now we're going to prepare our new head unit. We're going to prepare all the wiring for it, and then we'll put the head unit back in place here. Alright, so now it's time to set up the new wiring harness. So you see right here, there's two camera plugs. Now because this car we're doing a hardwire, we don't need to worry about those camera plugs. We're going to cut them off, and I'll show you how to hardwire it directly. Okay, so now we're going to start with the wiring. Now you can see in this case, we're hardwiring the camera cable, so we don't need to worry about these two camera plugs. In the other case, or in the event you have the factory 360 camera and we're going to be retaining that, you want to look for the wiring that has got the yellow and the black up and down. You can see one has got it left and right, one has got it up and down. So you want to match that to the plug that comes from behind your original screen, not the radio, behind the screen. This will plug straight in, give you your camera access, the 360 camera. In our case, we're going to chop all of this off, hardwire this cable straight onto the one that we just spliced inside the car. And once I'm done, I'll show you how it's done. Alright, so now you can see right here, this is a camera plug that we've just cut off from the main harness. So now what you want to do is split it open here. So just using a wire strippers again. Makes your life easier. Or if you're comfortable, use your side cutters, whatever you're comfortable with. Choose your ground plug and video plug separate. Now remember the original harness that we cut in the car before. So how it's gonna wire up, this ground is gonna go onto this ground. The yellow part is gonna go into this shielded part, which is a video, and this red part is gonna connect to the pink wires that we've just split open inside the harness. So one will connect here, and the other side of this pink will tap onto the red in the plug that I just showed you before. So this is what my wiring is looking like now. So what I'm going to do now at this point is go ahead and solder these wires on and put some tape over it. So tape the video separate, tape the ground separate, and the power is going to be exposed for now until we tap it into the car, and then tape them together to make it into a nice neat loom. You can use electric tape, fabric tape, whatever you guys want to use. Use something that's not electrically conductive. Now you'll see what I've done here is connected one end of this pink wire to the red wire, which is going to power our camera when you go into reverse. The other end is going to tap into the reverse trigger that I'm going to show you inside the car when we're doing the wiring. I've just used some electric tape here. Once we put everything inside the car, I'm going to put heaps of fabric tape, make it all nice and neat. For the timing, I've just soldered these on, put some electric tape on top. I'm going to make it neater, and that this end will connect to where the factory camera plug is. And this other part is going to come in the kit as well. This is the camera plug that goes behind the head unit. So now this part is connected here. It will go into the camera plug. The RCA is plugged in, and also always make sure you tape all of your connections. Alright, so the next part here, I see a lot of people think it's optional. I personally think it's a mandatory, is to tape every single wiring up, make it nice and neat. So when you're installing it, it's easier for you to remember what plug's going to go in where. It's not going to make any rattling sound. If you're doing a DIY and you don't have a lot of things lying around and you don't really care, you can skip this part, but I feel like it's much better to do it with the taping. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and undo all of the zip ties and start making it into a nice loop. Now you make sure when you're taping things up, don't tape these T harnesses together, otherwise you won't be able to plug it in where they're supposed to go in. So I'm quickly going to go ahead and start taping this all up. You'll see probably a time lapse, and then I'll be back in 3, 2, 1. Now as you can see here, the wiring's already starting to look a lot nicer. Now there's small little pieces that I've left outside. That's on purpose. Just from experience, I know which wires are gonna get pinched if I tape them first. So I like to put it all together and tape up the excess after the install anyways. So this is all gonna go in now, and I'll show you how to mount these. Now for your antennas, there's a few places you can mount your antennas. Let me show you all the places. There's a nice HD microphone in here. Now with our units, you also get a HD microphone built in onto the system itself, so you don't really have to install this. But in our case, we always do install an external microphone. It makes the call quality a lot nicer. Now this one here is to do any aftermarket sound system, your RCAs. It's got 2 external camera inputs, so if you want to mount, in this case you can mount a front camera, a bonnet camera if you're doing off-roading, or even connect to a caravan camera if you've got the proper kit to run the wires. It's got a SIM card tray as well as your microphone input. Now this SIM card tray, we're going to route it into your glove box along with one of the USBs, and the other USB in this scenario, because we're also connecting the digital dash, this USB is going to be occupied by the digital dash, so they can talk to each other, share maps across, and all the other stuff I'll show you at the end. All right, so let me explain to you how to mount your antennas. First one, the Wi-Fi antenna. This is only going to be used if you're putting in a SIM card to watch like YouTube, Netflix, all of that. Now how you want to mount it is away from any of the electronics and on a piece of plastic. Don't mount it on a metal. It does interfere with your reception. If you mount it on a metal, you might get crappy reception, or you might not have good internet speed once you put your SIM card in. Where I like to mount it is right on top here, behind here. There's a bit of space, flat plastic, sits down there nice and perfect. GPS antenna, contrary to a lot of other people, you can mount it on top of the dash. I personally think it looks very ugly. Where I like to mount it is either inside the A-pillar here, or if you reach far back in this case, there's a flat piece of plastic at the end where you can mount it without any problem. I've always tested it, never had a single problem within hundreds of units. So I'm going to mount these, and all the excess wire I'm going to tape up again with the same nice fabric tape. Now this microphone, few different locations you can mount it. I've seen some people, they mount it here. I don't think it looks good. I've seen some people mount it there. The problem with that is when you're putting a sun visor on, they do get blocked in between your line of sight with the microphone, so the quality is not the best. I find it personally to work best in the corner right underneath there, where the sun visor doesn't affect from where the driver's seating is, as well as it's easier to run the wire through that pillar in here. So I'm going to quickly take that pillar out. Is only those 2 screws there in the handle, and the whole thing will pop out. Run the wire into the center, mount my antennas, plug in all of the main harness, and I'll show you in the next clip how we're going to plug everything in. Now you can see right here what I've done in the original camera plug, the 3rd pin, the red wire. I've tapped on an extra cable here that's going to go into the pink part of the original harness. I'll connect it and show it to you. This is your reverse trigger. It's very important to do it, so you can just go ahead and strip down this one a little bit, tug this wire, and once this wire is tugged in, solder it on, tape it on, and this is good to go. This is still going to get plugged into our harness, but this plug or the pin is different for this model year specific. Everything before that, you don't need to worry about any of that. That will be just a plug and play. Only for the units with the directed head unit technology is the one that you have to tap this wire on. The other end to that wire will go into this pink T harness or the Y harness that we have created by cutting off the plugs before. Just twist them together, solder it on, tape it on, and then we are ready to plug in the rest of the harness. After this, I'll go ahead and plug everything in, show you every single plug, how it goes in, which ones you have to plug, which ones you don't have to plug, which ones you can tuck away, and then we'll start mounting the AC vents, the screen, the bottom part, and the center console. Alright, so this right here is your camera plug that has been plugged in. The other one is your power harness and for your wiring for your speakers. That's also gone in there. Next one right here is for the SIM card tray as well as your microphone. Now make sure you tape all the connections when you're plugging it in, so when you drive the car it doesn't come out with the vibration. Now here I've got the Wi-Fi antenna that I've mounted behind with the location that I've shown before. The GPS antenna, all the ends have been taped up, everything looking nice and neat. Your radio antenna will go into this one side is ground, the other side is the power. Now the next part, what you have to do is get all the wiring out of this section around here. So when you're putting the head unit back in, everything will plug into the place there. I'll show you what wires you're going to need. The easy way to find out is look behind the head unit, see what plugs are meant to go in there, and get everything out of this little cavity up here, and all the wiring can remain in the bottom. Once we have plugged in the screen up top, then we can continue to mount everything in the bottom and tidying up the rest of the wiring. Now before putting in the wiring from this cavity, I'm going to show you how to prepare and mount the side vents on either side, how to get them in, what position they need to be in, and then I'll run the wiring through the center, and then I'll see you in the next clip. Now you can see on the actual AC ducts here, it says left for left, R for right. Now you'll find this nice airtight foaming that has to go around the shroud here. So mount one on either one, so when you put it into the original one, it makes an airtight seal so you don't lose any of the airflow. I'm quickly going to prepare this, put it into the car, screw it on, and then I'll show you how it's done. As you can see right here, I've just put it in place and it makes that nice airtight seal with the foam that we mounted before. 2 screws here that you removed from the original radio will go into the spot. Same thing on the other side, follow it around. Now you can go ahead and put all your wiring, antennas and everything behind here. Now from my experience, I know which ones are going to go in, but if you're getting confused, what you can do is just have a look behind the actual screen and see what wires are going to be plugged in, and we'll move on to the next step. And once you've plugged everything at the back, this is how it's going to look. I'm just going to quickly pop a picture here for a couple seconds. Now after that, the rest of the wiring, whatever you see is exposed, you can start taping things up. I'm going to tell you which wiring you're going to need. You're going to need this plug right here. You can see this 8-pin plug for your wireless charging pad. You're going to need that one to be out. You don't have to tape that one in. The other one is this 4-pin plug that's going to connect to your hazard switch. You need these two. You need your main CAN bus plug, as well as a signal plug to indicate when your wireless charging is enabled, and this power plug right here to power your USB A and C port that comes in on the board. So I'm going to plug that one in. I'm going to show you the bottom part will go in first and then the middle one. Now before you put in the bottom part, remember the original hooks that you took out of the original main screen has to go behind the bottom part here, so when it goes in, it sits in nice and snug. So with those clips in place, you can go ahead and power up this plug here with the power connector that I've shown before. The other one will go in here, and this is a signal one. Now you will see all of them can only go in one way, so you can't really mess this up. So go ahead and start plugging that in, push this one in, and then we'll power the last one here in the middle, and then put it all in place. Now remember, one of our USB is hanging out here that I'm going to mount to the bottom of that panel there, because once we do the instrument cluster, I want to run the HDMI from there down there. It makes it easier if ever something was to go wrong to change the wires, and that's probably where I like to mount them. You can mount them anywhere you like, but I'll just leave that hanging for now, and then I'll show you later how I'm going to fix it with the cluster. And with the climate panel being the last panel that goes on, again, only 2 plugs at the back, and only one part of harness will go into those 2 plugs, so you can't really get this wrong either. Once you've plugged it back in, you can go ahead and slide it in place, and then we'll start testing some stuff. Now all of this is starting to come back together. Now you can see I've gone ahead and also screwed this on. What you can do if you like is test it all first. What you can do in your case is test everything, make sure your temperature is working, the cameras are working, hazard switch is working, everything is turning on, you're charging, test for every single thing before you screw and solidify everything. In my case, from experience, I know this is going to work, so I'm just going to go ahead and screw everything back on, and once I'm done testing, I'll see you in the next clip. Now as you can see right here, everything is working for me. The wireless charging is on, as you can see with the indicator there. Both of these ports are working. I've gone ahead and tested that as well. Now you can see when I press the camera button here, it does not do anything. It's bringing up the other 360 camera that's not installed on this car. That's only for when you're doing aftermarket 360 camera. So what you want to do is go into settings here, go down, scroll down, go into factory, press in the password 1 2 3 4 5 6, click confirm. You'll see here reverse camera selection. Click on that, click on normal. Now this car has a factory 1080p camera, so we'll go AHD 1080p, click enter, click OK. It's going to restart the head unit, and now it will switch the signal to the original factory camera. Now I know everything is working here, so I'm going to start with putting the panels back in place. Now you can see with my SIM card and my spare USB, I've routed it here, and the other USB is just chilling on the other side where I can mount my connection with the new cluster that's about to go into this car. That way the screen and the cluster can interlink with each other. Press the camera button again, test everything, and we're on. Nice and clear camera right here. Alright, so then from this point onwards, you can go ahead and put the whole thing back together just the way it came out. This panel will go in the last. So put the left side panel, put the right side panel, put the center console back on, put the gear selector back on, and after that, the unit is pretty much done. I'll start with the cluster for the next video, and once that is done, I'll give you a quick rundown on the whole system, how it works, how they interlink together, and how they talk to each other. Alright, so once everything is back in place, now that we've installed the cluster, you can see the interlink is working together. We have finished that part there. You can go ahead and watch that video if you want to know how that is all done. Now what we'll be doing here is firstly setting up the time. Now this here is outside, so it's already picking up the time from the GPS. That's a good sign that your GPS antenna is working. The next thing we want to set up is your Bluetooth. So by going into phone, go into settings, change the device name, pin, password, whatever you want to put in, and by clicking this nice little phone icon here, you can go ahead and pair up new device. We'll do that in a minute. Before that, go and click on the CarPlay, and once you click on that, click on the settings, turn it to the right hand drive, which this car is, turn the background connection on. This way every time you hop in the car, it will connect by itself, and you can then go ahead into the default connection type and select the link mode first. What they will do, every time you start the car, it will automatically go into CarPlay. As you can see, this system is capable of doing wireless CarPlay and mirroring at the same time. time, but we want to be doing CarPlay mostly because instead of doing mirroring, we have other options in this car, such as downloading apps like YouTube, Netflix, anything you want to watch, you can watch it on here. Now, in order to do that, you can either hotspot off your phone, or you can put in a SIM card that we have routed into the glove box earlier on in the installation. Either way, as long as there's an internet onto the system, you can do that. That's not a problem. You can see the hazard switches are working. It's very nice and high quality material all the way around this system here. You can see your air con, everything, the temperature, everything comes up on the screen as well as you can control it from the screen or from down here. Not a problem like that. Everything you can do, dual climate zone, sync, everything like you used to do before, as well as being able to put your charger, as well as being able to put your phone in there for wireless charging. Once you put it in, takes a couple of seconds, this will turn orange. That means your phone has started charging. Now let's set up this system here. Now, depending on whether or not you have mounted a microphone, you can go ahead and select. So if you have mounted a microphone, the microphone selection on the screen will be the rear. By clicking on factory, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, click confirm, and swipe down all the way to the bottom. So first thing we're going to do is change the radio region to Australia. We're in Australia. Microphone selection is set to front, change it to rear. That is done. 4G microphone parameters, minus 42 decibels is usually pretty loud. If you want to get it louder, you can change to minus 54. This is quite loud as is, so no need to worry about that. Go back out. Now, I don't like to see the door display, so what I do normally is just click on the original here, change the door display off, and this temperature, I only like to see it for a couple of seconds. That's how I set it up for most of the cars. Then you want to go into reverse, scroll all the way down. This is the volume of your media coming out of the unit when you're in the reverse mode. I like to leave it around 60%. That is good level of attenuation, I feel like. And that is pretty much everything set up. Now you can go ahead and see, there's a green car setting. When you click on that, you will have all your original car info, such as your tire pressure, your fuel data, and everything. Once you start driving, everything will come up here as well. If you had the TIL version, you can control your rear screens from here. And if you're towing, you can turn your parking sensor on and off here. Everything just like the original car settings, nothing is lost. Now we'll go ahead and pair up our phone. So let's go onto our phone, into settings, Bluetooth. And I find it easier to search for my phone through the screen. Click on that, 0000, click pair. It will ask for a couple of permissions for the first time. It will say pair success on there. And once you allow for the permissions, the first time usually takes longer than the other times when it's syncing in. Click connect on your phone. Same exact process with the Android phone, nothing's changed. It'll give you a nice little prompt box here. Click on that and click OK. Just get rid of that. Now you got this nice Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, YouTube, Netflix, everything running through here. You can also go ahead and equalize your speakers by just clicking on the apps here. Scroll across, find DSP, just found it there. You can go ahead and equalize your speakers, each one as you like. I'll set it up to how I like it, and you guys can set it up whatever way you like. Go into reverse, your reverse camera comes on. Go back into park, reverse camera is gone. Your sensors are beeping, everything is working exactly like it did before. You can also have a mirror of your CarPlay. Let's say you're having your maps in there. You can also see it in between your cluster. It looks insane, unreal how it looks in person. It's not sitting too high, only about 3 fingers, just like the modern 12.1 inch that comes factory fitted from Nissan. Very, very similar to this. Now, if you guys had any questions regarding the installation, the wiring, if it's compatible with your model, any other car that you want to get done, you can reach out to us in the contact details below, or simply contact us via the email info@westernautocustoms.com.au. You can contact us through our contact number 0475 469 577, or simply fill out the contact form on www.westernautocustoms.com.au to see how we can help you with your car. We got partners all around Australia. We are based in Victoria. We come mobile on site for most of the jobs all around Australia. We've got partners to do such kind of job. So if you're not interested in DIY, you just want to get it done with some professional help, let us know on the email and we'll be able to make something work for you. But now we're signing out. Peace.